5 Palestinian journalists.
The strikes followed a pattern of escalating violence in the region, with reports of a double-tap attack on the hospital.
Mass protests erupted across Australia, with an estimated 300,000 people demonstrating against Israel's ongoing war in Gaza. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Protesters demanded an end to Australia's arms trade with Israel and called for sanctions.
A federal judge blocked the Trump administration's attempt to cut federal funding to sanctuary cities, including major cities like Los Angeles and Chicago.
The ruling came after cities challenged executive orders limiting local police cooperation with immigration authorities.
President Trump threatened to deploy the National Guard to Chicago, New York, and Baltimore to address crime, raising concerns about federal overreach.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson called the plan a violation of constitutional principles.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged. Go encourage.
We got your coffee in here, please.
Fact-checking. And you check your facting. Fact-checking mother. Fact-checkers. I'm sorry about that. Oh, radio. Oh, yes, you are a radio person. Welcome to the radio, people.
Damn,
radio,
and hot.
Radio.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Oh, yes, he is.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Yeah, we'll see about probably in the second hour. Yeah, you never know. There might be some in the first hour to laugh at. Might be laugh about. Not laugh at, laugh about. Two different things. You can laugh at the entire thing if you want. Hey, listen, you're done. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. All right, fan. If that's what you want to call yourself, fan. Good morning, folks. It feels like a Tuesday. Is it a Tuesday? It feels like a Tuesday. Tuesday, August 26th, 2025. Starting to cool off out here. It's feeling a little bit like fall, autumn. And you know what? I love summer. But this year, I'm okay with fall coming. I'm not a big fan of winter coming right behind it, but I can't reverse the order. I would like to have summer, fall, summer, fall, summer, fall. Maybe a little throw in a spring, summer, fall, summer, fall. It's a little bit of spring, summer, fall, and we just do away with winters. That's what I would like to do. I'm your local weatherman, and that's the weather report. We're going to hell. We're all going to hell. We might be in hell. Here is the issue that makes me say that this morning. Streaming. We're on a service called Kick, and we get these bots trying to sell us viewers on Kick. Kick is just about done. Kick is just about done. And they didn't even start up yet. And here's what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can pull this up and get the information right. I should have done this before. The other day or last week, Kick decided to stream a marathon stream. They have no rules. Here's the deal with Kick. You can do anything over there. And unlike Twitch, it's kind of the Wild West on Kick. And last week, they streamed some young dudes, some bros from France Yesterday, GD brought up jackass. These guys are jackass to the extreme. They streamed the torture and killing of one of their own. Now, I don't think they intended to kill him. I think they were force feeding him some stuff. The guy's a little slow. They have this, a broadcast, and one of the guys is not all. He's there, Willie. And they were force feeding him stuff, and this went on for days. And the guy was giving him the safe word, "I want to stop." And they were saying no. His mother called and said, "You got to stop. They won't let me go." The president, the CEO of Kick, chimed in and was donating. Yeah, keep torturing him. Did you hear what I just said? I just want to say that again. The CEO of Kick was contributing to the stream, and yeah, this is a good idea. Guy ended up dying. And people are celebrating that. If you don't think we're in hell, the humanity has been drained out of us. We've come to a place where I never thought this would happen, where the ugliness in society would be celebrated. Didn't you grow up with the idea of right and wrong? Didn't any of us, whether you're a religious person or not, I'm not coming up with it. Kick video platform investigated over streamer's death. This is 13 minutes ago. French government also says it is suing the platform over the death of Raphael Graven, also known as Jean Pomernove or something. I'm sorry. We are having difficulty pronouncing foreign names. How do you sleep? How do you sleep at night? Knowing and first of all, you're a ghoul if you're sitting there watching this guy get tortured to death. And then you're contributing money to it. And then wow, that was cool. That was entertainment. It's like a 5-day thing or even longer, constant torturing of somebody who was a friend. Now, maybe these guys, they just thought they were goofing around. Could be young, young people, young dudes are not all that bright to begin with. And they might not have realized how serious the thing was becoming. But my God, where are we? We're at a place where people are seeing torture and death for entertainment, gamesmanship, having fun with it. Abusing their friend or somebody who was supposedly their friend and somebody they knew had cognitive abilities. They were humiliating and mistreating him for months, kind of like Jackass to the extreme. And then Jackass was just kicking a guy in the balls, not torturing him to death. And so that's where we are with humanity right now, or without humanity. We have none of it. And this is evident also in the politics of the United States of America and the situation we find ourselves in with Caroline Levitt this morning celebrating the destruction of homeless camps. The people, now, if you have no empathy for this, people on the street, most of them never wanted to be on the street. They lost their home, they lost their job, whatever. They're living in tents. You think they want to be living in tents, and now they're living in tents in a city park, and they are a burden on society. And they didn't want to be a burden on society. These idiots in the pro-MAGA, lack of humanity movement, just think, oh, these people are just trying to inconvenience my life by having to shit outside, having to sleep outside on the sidewalk, whatever. What an inconvenience they are to me. You ever think once how hard that is? Yeah, but for the grace of God go I, man. Come on. Get a grip on some kind of decency in your life. But now they're celebrating the fact that not only did these people lose their house, lose everything, they lose their cars, lose their family, whatever, living on the street, destitute, living day to day, trying to stay alive. Hey, we're gonna crush your tent too, just because. And then not only that, but celebrate it and do a victory dance. and not offer these people any hand up. These fucking Republicans. Excuse my. I know I shouldn't say Republicans. These fucking. They keep talking. They talk forever about hand up, not hand out. Where's the hand up? Where is the fucking hand up? You want these people to pick themselves up by their bootstraps? You just fucking stole their bootstraps. So we're going to hell. And protesting. Sorry, Dr. Marshall Brown there, or Brown Marshall, whatever. Protest ain't going to cut it. It's time. It's time for violent revolt. It really is. And they know we're not going to do it. They know we don't have the army to do it. And so they're laughing at the prospect that they can get away with anything they want. And soon the National Guard will be in your city carrying weapons. And unless we fight back with violence, they're just going to storm right over us. Now, the doom and gloom part of it, the pessimist, there is in the end, I have a mustard seed of faith here that in the end, it does come crumbling down, but not before a lot of people suffer. World War II did come to an end. The devil in that case being Hitler, did get what was coming to him, supposedly, in the end, but a lot of people had to suffer along the way. So that's where we are today. It's a good comedy show, hey? So we have a show for you today. Dr. Dean Howell. Not doctor. He's Dean Howell. He's a healer. He wears a white coat like a doctor. He says he's been healing people for 70 plus years. What are you, 90? What are you, 100? I mean, he doesn't look 90. He looks like he's in his 70s. But anyway, it's energy healing, a different kind of energy healing than I've been exposed to. It was in the first hour. And the second hour, we have a couple of guys from the Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards podcast, a kind of new podcast that seemed to have comedians on, but they're also about, I don't know, aliens, UFOs, Bigfoots, whatever, consciousness, kumbaya, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get GD in here to hear his commentary on streaming. You know what? Maybe we'll just kill GD and have people send in money as we slowly kill him today. Maybe that will be the plan. Let's see if we can do that. In the meantime, you know what I want to do today. You know what I need to do this. This is my escape, and here it is.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Get the party started now. Good morning. Let's get him out of here. Oh, what happened? Wow, the background's taking a while. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now, the man who's going to tell us that we are not all going to hell because the Constitution. GD Fenderson. Good morning, GD.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. In the digital broadcast business, you have two choices. Know your audience or have no audience. We at Coffee with the Dog have chosen the latter, and we use that ladder to climb down to meet our standards. Join us, won't you? MindDogTV.com/merch. Come and get your merchandise. And matter of fact, get that new t-shirt. Hey, Trump, we're one of the good ones. I'm sorry, we're Trump. Hey, Trump, I'm one of the good ones. MindDogTV.com/merch. Shit. No.
Whoa.
Oh, enjoy your merch. Wait a minute. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
One of these days, I'm going to not be a slacker and actually make that t-shirt so that people could buy it or not buy. They'll just look at it and say, I'm not going to buy that. That's what I want to do. I want to create stuff for people to look at and say, I'm not going to buy that.
I put 2 comments in the thing. I didn't want to interrupt your flow of thought though, because you're being very, very sincere about the things that bother you. But as far as Kick goes, we die on Kick every day. So where are our donations?
Yeah, well, these guys who are trying to sell us viewers or whatever bots on Kick, don't they realize that you're going to be selling me something that's going to be taken down tomorrow? I don't know if the French government has the power to take Kick down all by itself, but in the United States government doesn't seem to care about it at all.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe we should get Stephen on the program and torture him to death again or more, and then have people donate as we kind of just torture him. Is that the sickest thing you've ever heard of?
No, it's not the sickest thing. Remember, we talked yesterday about the woman that killed my sister's boyfriend, his ex-wife, how she stabbed him, and while he was bleeding to death, she gave him the phone saying he could call for help, and then cut the phone cord.
All right, yeah, that's fine. I have a short memory span.
That's fucking mean.
Yeah, but I get mean, but these people who are donating, saying, "Yeah, torture him some more. Here's $20, or what? It's $2. $2 is even. Here's $2. Keep torturing. Oh, thank you for your donation, super chat. Sure, we're gonna torture the guy some more." And then this went on for days. The guy's mother called the studio and said, "Please let him go." He said, "They won't let me go." So that's kidnapping right there.
Right.
And it went on for days, and the guy finally died. And then these people who gave money towards that, they just change the channel and go on like, okay, yeah, hey, and they're on social media. Wasn't that cool? The guy actually died. Oh yeah, that's exciting. Murdered a guy.
Unfortunately, and I'm willing to bet that the majority of the people watching it probably thought it was an AI thing. It was like a fake thing, not totally done by AI, but just fake because they're so used to being pranked and shit like that. And some people would just get off on that kind of stuff. Otherwise, there would not be a snuff film industry. Right. So let's be clear about that. But that's not the majority of people who enjoy snuff. I think the majority of the people, I don't know the actual stats. Okay, I could be totally wrong about how many people enjoy snuff, but I am certain that most people are stupid and they believe they're watching fake stuff. They're so used to being punked and seeing stuff and going, that's not real. But even the ones that think it's not real, the fact that they find it entertaining is disturbing as well. So I'm not letting anybody off the hook who watched it and did nothing, or watched it and enjoyed it. Nobody gets off the hook. Well, not even the people that were getting off from people getting off of the hook.
Dr. Dean Howell's in the waiting room, in the green room, and we'll be bringing him in a second. I just want to say I'm not sure that your explanation carries that much water, because this is a podcast that people knew the people on. It's not like some new guys just came on here.
Okay, then I stand corrected.
And they had been abusing this guy. This was a guy who they knew had some challenges, cognitive challenges, and they were abusing him and humiliating him for years, if not a month, if not several years on this program. I know it's English that he's speaking, but I'm still confused as fuck. What? I don't get it.
I think he's talking about my explanation. I think that my circular logic.
I just hopefully that there's no snuff film fans in the audience, because I would poll them if there were. But I hope that we don't have snuff film fans in our audience.
And I'm willing to bet that we do have snuff film fans in the audience. Some of them are also listeners to Blind Mike. So I think there's like an overlap.
Oh, I felt that one.
Sorry. Did I say something wrong?
I don't know if it's wrong or not. I would say, I would bet money that they're within the fan group of Mike's chat room there are definitely a few snuff film enthusiasts that they seem to enjoy the pile-on without a doubt, and that was a big part of my problem with them. We'll discuss that in the meantime. In between guests this morning, we need to get to Dr. Dean Howell. Dr. Dean Howell is the developer of neurocranial restructuring, NCR. Ever hear of it?
I thought NCR was National Cash Register. That's what I thought it was. But I see, and that's why. Okay, that's why I'm against these letter abbreviations, because they mean something different to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, and as a result, there's a lot of confusion. So some people go like, NCR, he's with the National Cash Register.
I thought it was like a TV series with spin-offs or something. NCR,
yeah,
right?
NCIS. Yeah, so everything. That's why I do not like the use of those things. I just say, look, don't dumb people down. Use the whole word. Whatever the disease is you think you have, don't fucking say COPD. Say what it actually is. Let people learn how to say it and learn what the effects are. Don't be dumbing us down. Lift us up. My God, I can't stand it.
Dr.
That's
Howell
why my sense of humor. People have been dumbed down to the point that they don't get my sense of humor, and it really pisses me off that they don't get my jokes.
Sounds like GD's about to destroy a homeless camp and piss on the people.
Don't get me started on destroying homeless camps. That's the new Christian nation. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what my comment on Caroline's thing this morning, celebrating destroying the tents and stuff. It's a good thing you don't actually believe in Christianity, because you would be terrified right now of what the future holds for your soul.
Yeah, that's what they mean by Christian nation. They get the whole nation going, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. All right, let's get Dr. Howell in here. Dr. Howell is naturopathic. I never heard of that one. Doctor with over 30 years of clinical research and 100,000 plus patient sessions. 100,000 plus patient census behind him. He's worked with Olympic athletes, Hollywood elites. Why are they all elite in Hollywood? I don't know.
I don't think all of them are. Talk to some of the D-list actors. They're not elite. They're like still waitresses and waiters.
Right. Chronic pain sufferers and everyday people. That's like me. Everyday people. I don't know if you know this, but I am everyday people.
I will be willing to bet that half those people would not be suffering chronic pain if they weren't going to the bank all the time to cash those checks.
If they were not treated failed by traditional systems, NCR, a method he developed, literally reshapes the skull, and I don't want my skull reshaped, and nervous system for long-term healing.
I thought that was done at birth. When you're born, it's just all nice and squishy, and that's when you reshape it, not later in life.
There you go. Dr. Howell, how are you? Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
You both sound wonderful, by the way, and it's been interesting to listen to you. I think I might do that in the future as well.
Yeah.
This is Rebecca.
How do you do?
Hi, Rebecca. I wasn't prepared to have you on, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. One thing that I was curious about.
Wait a minute. I just ask real quick. Rebecca, are you Dean's support comfort partner here?
It depends on what you mean by comfort woman, doesn't it? Actually, I'm his assistant. I'm licensed and certified in many modalities. And I actually met him when he came to visit me at my healing center, and we realized we would do better for people by working together.
Well, one of the things that I'm confused about on the website, and I'm still confused, although I think I understand what it means, seeing that Dr. Howell has over 30 years of experience. It says that you two have been healing people for more than 70 years. I was like, are they 100? Are they 100? Yeah, I know, but it doesn't say combined. And that's where I thought, well, it must be combined. No.
Depends which version. Yeah, so I started my medical practice in 1982.
Right.
And Rebecca started her healing stuff in the 90s.
Well,
it makes sense when you say combined. That's all I need.
10 years before that.
But I was like,
by the way, NCR is a National Cash Register, a registered logo
acronym
for them. But the NCR is a medical copyright for not a copyright. What do they call it?
Trademark.
Trademark. Thank you.
So you can.
Yeah. So we're a registered trademark, but you're right. The reason that I don't always call it neurocranial restructuring is people say, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. I think we're at the point where we need we need new storage. We need a new alphabet for acronyms and stuff.
Well, we can keep the alphabet. This is what we need to do. Okay, we have 26 letters in the alphabet, but we have 44 sounds. I say have one letter per sound, so we expand the alphabet, and that way we can have more combinations of letters for abbreviations.
I want to correct something. He doesn't reshape your head. What he does is he takes your skull after you've been subject to traumas and accidents. Traumas can be emotional too, toxicities, whatever. And it's the muscles and nerves take you out of shape. And what he does is he gives you back the shape you should have had when you were born. And that was natural so that your body functions the way it's supposed to again. That's what. So it's not reshaping; it's actually giving you back your original function.
Thank goodness.
Okay, now
because that sounded like a horror thing. Like I go.
No, we're not into snuff films here.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, because there's like connective tissue that is putting pressure on the skull, and
it's on the inside of your head.
On the inside, right? The meninges going down to the tailbone, so your brain casing.
Think about it. Where do your accidents occur to your head? Not on the inside pushing the bones back out, on the outside pushing the bones back in. You get hit in the face, you fall down, you get whipped around in a car wreck, you get teeth pulled and you start chewing and your head starts changing shape. So my work focuses on how to release those traumas to restore the original structure.
Exactly. Let's hear what he had to ask, though. You were asking about something. Sorry.
Yeah, because I know that the connective tissue and muscles, like the mandible, those bones, the muscles there, the upper attach here. So I thought what you were saying was that, like, so because of stress, like when you clench your teeth like this, it pulls the muscle and then it contorts the cranium that way. That's what I thought you were saying.
It is that stuff, but more often it's worse accidents. If somebody breaks your nose, whack, it's not just your nose that changes, the rest of your head shifts too. And so who's going to reverse that? You don't go to a surgeon to have him reverse, subtle changes in your head shape. So I developed techniques over the years that made those treatments, the treatments accumulate, so I could make long-term changes that you could verify with photographs or x-rays. Whereas the chiropractic and physical therapy and osteopathic techniques that I learned as a medical student often gave relief, but they would wear back off. Have you ever had a friend that had a neck or back pain? I've
never had a friend.
I don't.
Do you know how people will go for every week or two and get treatments, and they'll do it sometimes for years?
Yeah.
Until the insurance runs out.
For the therapist. The therapist is doing the same thing over and over and over. I remember in the 80s coming home and saying, what am I going to do? These same people are making appointments every other Friday as far ahead as my calendar will go. And they're talking about what they're going to be doing in 20 years, which is going to be still seeing me for me to do the same technique over and over and over. And I said, I had to change that. That was so discouraging. What a horrible fate,
But some people, to be honest, the only time to get someone else to listen to them is when they are in need or in pain and they go see the doctor.
Exactly.
And so when they get that release, that emotional release, even though a symptom or two may have been relieved, they may still come back because that's the only place where they feel they get listened to.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I wanted to also add, aside from head trauma, it can be any trauma. You could stub your toe. When you stub your toe, your body goes into a periodic small-time shock. Right. Your whole muscle system tightens up for a minute. You're like, ow, and it does affect your head and spine.
Or there's the people.
And that's your brain casing again.
Or the people that get yelled at a lot.
Oh, yeah, believe me, I know that.
A kid that gets yelled at a lot, you'll just see them kind of curling up. And guess what? Their bones in their internal structures, like in their head, there's inside the skull, but outside your brain, there's a bag of connective tissues, right? The meninges.
He knows.
And when you have different accidents occur, you'll develop tension patterns in the meninges and internal muscles. And so then you'll be crooked and you'll have these muscles and connective tissues helping to hold you in that place. And so we have to go in and figure out how to release that stuff so the structures can shift back towards your original design.
At some point, maybe later in the show, you may have to explain to the audience what a meninges is, because a lot of them just think it's a river in Africa. And so, the meninges, it just flows from. I'm sorry.
I'm still hung up on you saying mandible, because I was thinking of that movie with Ken Norton and Susan George. Well, that was Mandingo.
Ouch. Okay. I like being pun-ish. Okay.
All right. For purposes of clarity here, it sounds as if they have to physically, the people you treat have to be physically in your presence. You have to be physically in their presence.
Most cases.
For the neurocranial restructuring work or the other deep connective tissue work that I do called howling, those are both hands-on techniques. We also coach people because biochemistry, vaccine residues, and chronic infections are big differences for your general health as well. So what we have is a method, we have a method to work on the physical trauma, and then the trauma of, what should we say, your lifestyle.
Yeah. So where are you located physically on the planet?
Today I'm in Brooklyn, New York, and we come here about every 4 to 6 weeks. We're centered out of Washington State, and our headquarters, we can look out the living room window and see Canada. Like we're way north.
So you can see where the other healthcare system takes place.
Yeah, that one's much worse. That's a horrible one. You should hear what the Canadians have to say about it, because they pay to come and see me because they can't get the services that they need in Canada.
Wow. Now, when I was in Canada, they were praising, the people I was talking to was praising their system. So
not the people that are ill. The people that are well think it's a good system.
We know of a man, no names obviously, who had cancer, and because he was of a certain age, which is over 65, they put him on a waiting list. He wasn't considered, important enough to be treated right away. And they knew that by the time they got to him, he would be already dead. So he had to come to the United States to be healed, because that's how their system actually works.
Well, that's how our system works as well, because I know because I needed a knee replacement, and the insurance company literally was putting it off because they were gambling on the fact that at my age and being Black, that I would be dead before they'd have to pay out. Sure. And my lawyer told me that.
That's a message of hope, I have to say.
I understand. I've been told a lot of that stuff too. It's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible.
Now, does all your work consist of working on head stuff? Because I saw like scoliosis and sciatica and all this stuff listed among the kind of things you treat, and I'm like, does that start in the head? Because I thought sciatica starts in the lower back with a nerve that nobody can actually know.
Your sphenoid. I'll let you do
that. Thank you. So, Doc, here's the way it would really go. Scoliosis is your spine's reflection as to how to best stabilize your skull. So what we find is that people with scoliosis, if you draw a line through their eyebrows and a line through their cheekbones, those two lines, instead of being parallel with each other, get skew and rotated. And that kind of head balancing on top of your neck triggers a spiral spine. But for the sciatica and other pelvis type problems, or flat feet or bunions, then we do connective tissue work in the pelvis, legs, and feet. And so we need to change those things too. Now, for 50 years, there's been a technique called Rolfing. That was kind of a deep muscle technique. And I started doing this work, and I was working right on the coating of the bones, where the bones connects to the tendons, periosteum they call it. It's kind of like wallpaper that covers your bones. Anyway, so as a joke, we started calling it howling, and the name is stuck. So there's Rolfing, and then there's howling, and howling is a little bit deeper. And I've never had anyone need to have bunion surgery since I've been developing this work. We've been able to resolve enough of their problem, because it turns out that bunions, for instance, are when your feet start to squirm and they twist. And if you start carrying from the upper body is transmitted through the legs into the feet in a more stable fashion, that the bunions go away.
I'm guessing GD wants you to answer this question that comes from a chat room from a medical professional. It says, how do you practice in New York State? Do you have to change your wording since New York State does not license NDs?
Yes. What we have done is we have stepped outside the governmental system. So, if you're a healthcare practitioner in any state, you have to accept their definition as to what constitutes you're legally allowed to do. So if you see a chiropractor and he happens to have a skill at acupuncture needles, even if you're in dire pain and you really need acupuncture needles, if he tells the state that he's using acupuncture needles on you and he's a chiropractor, he gets in trouble. So what people have been doing, and you'll see more and more doctors and dentists doing this nowadays, is that they form private membership associations. And so I formed my first one in 2001, and then in order to continue banking, Bank of America dropped me after 20 years. We became an Orthodox Catholic church.
Eastern Catholic, not
Eastern
Roman
Orthodox.
Catholic,
that's not associated with the
okay.
people in Rome. Actually, the Grand Patriarch of our church system is in Brazil. Anyway, by having people that come to see me join our church, we're both sanctified healers and ministers. And now if we're doing this within a church framework, the government can't decide what we can and can't do.
Wow.
If as church members we all agree that is still accepted in our system. So I can go from state to state.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not breaking the law this way because I'm not proclaiming myself as a licensed physician this week in New York. I'm not a physician in New York, so I'm not practicing medicine in New York. I'm healing people who are members of my church, and I'm here as a naturopathic healer.
Wow.
And in that way, it's okay. But besides that, I'm not really doing anything that I'm not using drugs.
Nothing
I'm not doing
invasive,
surgical needles. That's really hands-on. I use a little bit of latex. That's about all.
I'm glad you found I don't want to call it a loophole, whatever you found that works for you.
A lot of doctors have done that today. Because it's the only way they can help people, really help people, and stay out of trouble. I mean, if someone's drowning and the law says you can't save them, what are you going to do?
It just seems like what you, and maybe I shouldn't even put this out into the ether, but it just sounds like religious organizations can justify all sorts of things by claiming that same kind of, and you can't tell us what to do.
We actually do have the degrees and the knowledge and, things like that. We're not doing things wantonly without.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying there are nefarious people.
There are.
Yeah. And you know what? There's actually people with various kinds of health practitioner licenses that are horrible, and you shouldn't go see them too.
No names here.
Every time it's buyer beware.
I want to answer a question that he mentioned several minutes ago. We don't just do physical hands-on. We also help people balance their environmental health, diet, biochemistry, spiritual things like that too, because we're all one package. We're not an individual thing. I mean, if you have someone who has a bad back, it doesn't mean it didn't come from stress or spiritual emptiness or biochemistry imbalance. So you have to handle all of those aspects of the person's beingness. I should say the people's beingness. I want to be lawfully correct.
Okay.
Because two different languages. One's legal and one's lawful. Totally two different languages.
Right.
And you have to really address the entire being, not just part of them.
If I could get some clarity around, do you your position on traditional medicine, because it runs the gamut. There are people who are healers who work in conjunction with traditional medicine.
We do.
And there's the extreme, which rejects all traditional medicine and just goes.
Well, I think it's more situational. If I have a broken arm or I have a big gash from getting cut by something, I have burns from a fire, I'm the first in line at the emergency room because those are skills that are really honed. But like when I had a guy come to see me and he has a chronic complaint and he's been given for his frequent migraines, he's given pain pills, or for his blood pressure, he's given pills to lower his blood pressure. Pardon me, but how is that actually going to get him better?
It's not going to cause.
Unless he's going to die next week, he's going to be suffering for a long time. And so to me, those people fail to recognize their lack of abilities to actually deal with these more complex situations.
It's what's causing the headache, what's causing the back pain. If you don't go to the cause, you can't stop the issue. If you're just covering it up with a Band-Aid, how does that work in the future?
Yeah.
I was crippled.
I had a teacher once
didn't help me.
In the 80s,
again.
long dead now, and he said, Dean, when you want to trigger healing in somebody, you need to treat the cause behind the cause, behind the cause. And most people won't look at it that deep.
You know what? I used to work in pathology, and that's what, for people who are down on traditional medicine, the truth is pathology in most medical hospitals, teaching hospitals especially, they look for the story behind the story behind the story to get to that idea of, behind everything, you can look for the immediate cause, but there's usually something connected to that that's deeper. And traditional medicine has a long history of doing that. That's what pathology is all about, like getting to the root of the story. And it has caused a lot of arguments and really crazy stuff.
That's true. But it's partly because when you get too scientific, you start looking at the wrong level of treatments in order to treat those causes.
Right.
So if you're having problems with infections and all you look at are chemical agents that will kill infections, you're not using the best tool there, which is the human body.
Yeah.
So then the problem becomes, what's wrong with the immune system? What are you going to do? And then you open up all those little question doors again.
I believe most doctors get into being doctors because they really do want to help people. They really do. And they want to find out the causes. The problem is the way the template is structured these days, they're not allowed to do that. That's what the problem is. Yeah. Like if you have cancer, who's looking at parasite infestation, heavy metals, or biochemistry being off? Most of them just give you chemotherapy or radiation, and that's all they think about. I have a friend right now who, by the way, is a Black American, and she's in the hospital, and they told her she was going to die in 2 weeks, and this was a year ago.
They told her she had brain cancer.
Yes, which she didn't. And she
had breast cancer instead.
Yeah, it's amazing.
To be honest, some people think with their tits. Let's be honest.
Well, no, her aunt actually works for Pfizer and finally got fed up with what they were telling her, her, and they went and found somebody who's in medical, by the way, who was able to find out kind of what was really going on. And I applaud that. But a lot of them won't look past their, templates. They won't look past their grid. And you have to look outside. Everyone has a box, but the idea is to be able to expand your box and look past it when you have to.
I got so many boxes, and the cats all have them. I've been trying to reach you about your warranty, your extended warranty.
I had a friend. I had a friend who had sciatica, problem with her, the sciatic nerve, and she was being treated for it, and I noticed that we worked at the same company and we drove the same company vehicle. And since she was 4 inches shorter than me, I knew so I said to her, I think I know what's causing your sciatica. You can stop taking the pills and seeing your doctor. I said, I had it too. And it turns out because I was short, I was sliding into my van and sliding out of my van, putting constant pressure on the sciatica on that one leg. And I said, once I changed the way I got in and out of the van and stopped putting that pressure, within a couple of weeks, it went away. And so she She noticed, so that's what she started doing. Started getting in and out of the van differently, not sliding in and out, but actually getting in and sitting in, and
Right.
and went away.
Well,
So I just mentioned that because you're talking about the actual cause, and because the doctors did not see the way she got in and out of her vehicle
Right.
or had that experience, they did not know to tell her or to even look. How are you getting in and out of your vehicle?
That's what we do. We ask people questions. We find out what their habits are. And if they're doing something, we'll say, well, did you ever try doing it a different way? Because know, maybe they don't need treatment. Maybe they just need to change their physical habit. Absolutely.
Well, that's like the old joke when the patient goes to the doctor and says, doctor, it hurts when I do this. The doctor says, well, don't do that.
I got to ask Blind Mike to interpret that joke for me and analyze it and break it down. I just don't get it.
I doubt that.
What do you mean by transforming the body into a healing machine?
Okay, well, when most people think of healing, they just think of their problem being gone, right? And that means they're healed. But what we really think of healing is when the body starts fixing itself. Can you get yourself to the point like when you were a kid, when you had something happen, you would heal, right? It seemed like it would go away. And then as an adult, everybody you see is degenerating and getting worse. What we have found is that when we get enough things corrected in the body, and this means controlling parasites, yeast, fungus, getting rid of heavy metals, chronic infections, when we get rid of a lot of those bad things, and when we trigger the body's structures to be better as well, we get to a certain point where the body starts self-correcting. And that's a true healing response. So I don't have a picture of me here to show you, but my hair now is dark brown and I'm 71. And when I was 60, if you go onto YouTube and type my name, you'll see me at 60 when I weighed 450 pounds. I think it was more. And my hair was gray and white.
I think the picture I had on the promo for you today was your hair was all white.
That's my point. It certainly isn't now.
That's the
guy. I just want to say that my hair is very dark brown. It's in a box. It's in a box on the shelf in my closet. This is not in a box, though. This actually grew out with white on the outside and brown coming out of the roots.
We have the pictures of the brown roots with the white hair on the ends, right? So just the reverse of the guys that color their hair. They get white roots and they're red and brown and black hair. Yeah. So mine grew out the other way.
And I'm working on that now.
And then I've fought varicose veins in my legs for years. I had parasites living in my legs, tropical parasites. But anyway, that's another story. But the idea was that I got to a certain stage where my bad veins are being replaced by my body. Not that I made them better with lotions and creams and surgery and electricity, but actually the old veins were just absorbed and new veins replaced. And that's because my body's healing itself now.
But where did the parasites go? Because you could have just charged them rent.
No,
absolutely.
We definitely go on programs to kill them, and that's really difficult to do. So I spent, when I finally realized that I was afflicted with parasites, it was because I was 450 pounds and I was trying to stop eating carbs, okay? Because carbs are what trigger heart disease. Carbs are what, feeds the parasites, yeast and fungus. Carbs are what trigger your formation of cancer. So if
now, I have a question though, because carbs in theory don't stay carbs. When you eat them, they become sugar, right? So
exactly.
So are you saying that eating them? Because I don't think do carbs reach that part? In other words, if carbs become sugar, are carbs in your body long enough to feed those other things? Or is there
yes. So here's the way it really works: is that
biochemistry.
You have two kinds of chemistry, and you'll hear about ketogenic or carnivore or diets, and then you'll have the mainstream diets. In the 70s, I went to medical school, and they said, the perfect diet should be 60% carbohydrates, 20% protein, and 20% fat. And it was a fact that they presented us. So we all wrote it down, and that became the way. Did you know that they made it up? That there was never any research that showed that
I was going to ask you, was that information provided by, let's say, the big carb?
If you think about it, carbs run our world.
You do the research, yes.
You know, every gathering you go to features carbs. You know, you go
Alcohol,
to a wedding, a
cake,
funeral,
muffins,
a business
candy,
meeting. You finish your dinner. What do? You have dessert, or you'll drink alcohol. So, and every time you secrete insulin, which is what you do to control your blood sugar from getting too high, right? Because blood sugar going high is like it kills you, and so that's why we have insulin. It gets rid of the extra blood sugar, puts it into the body fat. But the other thing that it does, besides protecting us at that point, the other thing it does is that it prevents your immune system from working. Your white blood cells shut off for 4 to 6 hours every time you secrete insulin. So if you get up and have breakfast, and then you have a mid-morning snack, and you have lunch, and you have a mid-afternoon snack, and you have dinner, and you have an evening snack, lots of people do 6 times a day that they eat. And that means their immune system doesn't work until 4 to 6 hours after their last snack. And that means that, 2 or 3 in the morning, white blood cells turn on, they're ready to fight. You get up for breakfast at 7, so you get 4 hours a day of immune system. No wonder you get colds and flus. No wonder you have no way to detect that cancer cell that's going to now duplicate and replicate itself for 7 to 10 years to where you can start seeing tumors. No wonder when the blood sugar gets high, that you start getting hardening of the arteries and all that stuff. None of those things were happening to cavemen. They never died of heart disease or cancer. They never got neurologic disease.
Or if it was rarely.
So they instead were eating what? Protein and fat. Seasonally, they might make a batch of beer or some wine and have it at the fertility festival. And that night they need insulin. But then the rest of the month, they're not at the fertility festival, and they're back to eating meat and fat. So that kept them from getting super obese, and it kept them from getting chronic infections.
Well, also I think there's actual evidence that those evenings when they made the beer and had those festivals, that led to them doing all this drunk drawing on the wall, about their exes, drawing pictures about their exes for us to find later on.
I think that's probably true.
Make a comment. I read a meme years ago, which was so true. I couldn't believe it, so I have to repeat it. You have for instance, you have a holiday that allows you to eat candy all the time, Halloween. And then you have another holiday that allows you to eat cakes, pies, and overeat, and candy and more candy, called Christmas. Or
Thanksgiving before that.
And Thanksgiving before that, where you're supposed to stuff your face. And
then after Easter, back to candy.
Well, that's the point. Then after that, you've got New Year's Eve, where you drink yourself to death. And after that, they call it flu season. I call it your body's trying to get rid of all the crap you put into it season.
That
because
makes a lot
it's
of
like
sense.
Enough is enough. Let's get rid of this now. So they get sick.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't gotten sick in God knows how long. I mean, over 30 years maybe, because we're not doing all that.
Wow.
So if we had bulimic season before the flu season, we wouldn't need flu season?
Well, bulimia is not good either on your gut. You can really hurt yourself.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking the question.
I'm going to be rescaping his skull after the program today.
I'm just like Tucker Carlson. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I get it.
We're giving you answers that we can.
I want to get to the definition of healing, because one of the other careers that I had before I was in pathology, I worked for the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. Barbara Brennan School of Healing.
I know that. Hands of Light.
Yeah, Hands of Light, and
exactly.
It's aura healing, energy healing.
Well, we do that too. I do it.
But there was a lot of confusion around the term healing.
Right.
A lot of people thought of healing as cure. That means you're cured from a disease. Other people just symptom free. And I just want to get your definition of what healing what actually constitutes healing.
Well, Okay.
To me,
Okay,
what
and then I'll give it
constitutes
to me.
healing is getting the body to a point where it is not burdened with a lot of immune system function. And so that means that that extra energy is used to optimize the health.
Exactly.
So your hair, your skin, those things start repairing. In my case, my veins are being
And your hair
replaced.
color coming
They
back.
did a scan on my heart a while back, and they said that I had the heart of someone like 40 instead of 70, and it's
And you
because I
better
don't
hide
have
it
the
before the
burning of
cops
the
find
arteries.
out. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke.
And then you know how most people in their 70s, they have all knobby looking hands, right? A lot of them do.
No arthritis
My mother's
here.
hands were all gnarled up and stuff like that by the time she was my age.
Yeah.
And it was because of the inflammatory chemicals that were in the foods that she was choosing to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That
So,
makes
for instance, if you eat a lot of potatoes and tomatoes and
Eggplant,
sweet
peppers.
peppers and eggplant and mangoes and blueberries,
The nightshades.
those are called the nightshade plants, and they have a lot of inflammatory things, and they're like sand being poured in the gears of your joints, and it causes all this distortion.
Tobacco's also in that group, by the way.
Yeah.
So now
So that prevents healing. See that? So we got to stay away from all that stuff
Okay.
in order to get to the point where you're healthy enough that your body will heal.
So the next question that flows directly from that, is there a state of optimal health that can be for each individual? Can we say this is what optimal health means in your case? And because there are a lot of different things about the fitness and healthiness and all that stuff. It all gets wrapped into one thing. So people think, well, I could do 100 pull-ups or whatever. That means I'm healthy. Not necessarily. It means you're
Right.
strong and fit, not necessarily healthy.
Well,
So
I agree with you, and so the real problem with the concept of healing is that most people have too low a standard.
yeah.
I want to be their body to be a point where it starts fixing itself, and if I go and I hear a really moving sermon and the guy says that I'm healed and I feel one with the Lord, I still may be limping or have a bad heart, And to me, my definition that's not quite good enough. Thank you very much. Why should we even be aging? I mean, the last 10 years, I've seemed to have gone in reverse, and the aging
We
part.
don't know what'll happen yet, but it's an ongoing
and so
experiment.
I'm still trying to achieve optimal health. I'm still having health problems.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm to a point where my body's trying to fix those things. So every time I make another development in my own health, I get better still.
Yeah.
You don't have to be old just because you're 65 or 85. You don't have to be.
Someone asked me a question years ago, a very good friend of mine. How do you look at, yourself for health and healing? And I said, it's not something that you just achieve and it's there. It's a never-ending sculpture and metamorphosis to keep going in that direction. It's like looking for ascension. It never ends. If you want to stay, let's say, the best you can be at each individual moment, you have to be diligent. You have to keep working at it. It's like anything else. Practice. Well, I don't mean practice like it's a practice and you never know what you're doing, but I mean it's a continual function that you keep working towards so that you keep yourself balanced and in a mode where your body can actually start correcting the things that you had accumulated over the years because of whatever it is you were exposed to, societal, whatever.
Yeah.
I know my wife frequently says, probably on average about 3 times a week, it sucks getting old, and I say to her, I wouldn't know.
Actually, that's a great answer. He's going to tell you what Edgar. You know who Edgar Casey was?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Sleeping Prophet.
The Sleeping Prophet.
Right. The Sleeping
Edgar
Prophet.
Casey's book, which is very interesting.
So now that you can go online and you can read his readings of people. Remember, he would be in that trance and talk about whoever his intent person was for that day. So if they said Edgar, think about Bob Jones, then he would go to what he called the Akashic Library. That was where he would go in his mind. And he would go into the library and open a fat book there. And when he would open it, it would read about Bob Jones. And he would read it out loud. And that way the transcriptionists, because this was before tape recorders, they would write down, and you can go read these readings. And
aging thing.
so we were doing research on parasites, yeast, and fungus, and we're reading about one remedy, and we come to the point where he interjects, of course, you don't have to accept the program, the aging program. This is something that you willfully choose when you are born into your human life. And I said,
wow,
that sounds good. Why should I age anymore? And since that time, that was when I was 60. And I've been getting better and younger ever since. So people said, when are you going to retire? And I said, well, I've got 30 or 40 years of plans still. So I guess 110 or 120.
He wants to ask a question.
Yeah. Here's the problem with, and one of the many, many problems society is facing now. You mentioned aging. There is anti-aging is a buzzword that people are just nobody wants to get old, and so
but they want magic pills.
A million, yes, magic pills, a million different products, magic cures, magic anti-aging formulas and creams and rubs and pills and all these things and we are inundated. With so much information that we can't possibly decipher.
Then let me clarify that statement. It's not anti-chronological aging. What we're doing is rebalancing the body so the biochemistry can repair what people call the aging process.
Understood. I get that.
That's a different thing.
He's on board.
I know he is. He's a pathologist.
But here's the issue. I think is we have so many different opinions, so many different, so much different information coming at us from all different directions that people. And I'm surprised there isn't like a full-out war on this stuff. That people just don't know who to trust and what to believe in, and so it becomes like there's so much information overload, and I don't know how people cipher their way through this and find out what is right for them and what works for them.
I don't know what's right for them, but I do know that we go by what we call empirical science, which means he did this program, his hair turned brown again, his veins are disappearing again, the bad ones, and they're being rebuilt. I did this. I was crippled in a wheelchair. I'm walking again. I've got energy. I'm still working more than some of my 30-year-old at this point children. I mean, I have more energy than most people. We go around every week healing people all over the place, and we're not slowing down. Whether that's aging or anti-aging, I don't know. All I know is the body is getting more able to do the functions that I'm interested in doing. Okay?
Yeah.
So I look at it.
I'm at the point where most men deal with getting up all night for you revert back to I wake up, I sleep like a baby. I wake up every 2 hours crying and peeing myself.
It's funny, this morning I woke up and I wrote, I'm in the last stage of my life, the stage where stuff I buy now better last the rest of my life.
No, you got a lot longer than that. But regarding the urination thing, look into what foods cause irritation in the bladder and the prostate. Almonds, for instance, soy, for instance, tomatoes, for instance. Look into the foods or whatever it is that you're exposed to or consuming that cause this kind of stuff, and just stop them and see how your body starts to react when you do that.
Yeah, you know what? I thank you for that advice. I think it's my sedentary lifestyle. I spent way too much time in this chair. To keep this thing going, and with all the other work I do after this is done, with all the programming and stuff, it requires so much time, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying the reality is, I know I have to get out of the chair more and go for walks and do some exercise.
Yeah, activate your lymph system.
And just for the record, Matt does know the difference between an explanation and an excuse. Yeah. He's not making excuses. He's give you an explanation. He knows the difference.
I do try. I put as much effort as I can into putting in some exercise and stuff, and find reasons to get out of this chair. But it's like the demands of this. What I've decided to do with my life.
Doing the broadcast on an exercise bike or something, that would be quite an inspiration to your viewers.
Well, he does. We know he has to leave the chair because his weed cannot get delivered. So
no, he can't. He just lied to you. There's 24/7 the same day delivery.
Really? But honestly, I didn't think they had that in New York.
Well, it's toxic then.
See, that's what I mean about making an effort to get out. I don't have to go there. I don't have to go all the way down to the South Shore of Long Island.
I stand corrected. I really thought you only left because you had to go get your weed. I didn't know that
it's an excuse to get out of the chair. Plus, I also have the shows and the paint parties and the music shows that I do, all as excuses to get out of the chair and do something. So,
well, the point is, you're right, and we do take each people as an individual, because you're not anybody is alike.
Yeah.
So you have to always see what their circumstances are, what their lifestyle is like, what their diet is like, what their spiritual beliefs are, everything. If you don't take everything into consideration, you can't get anywhere with helping them toward their path to healing.
I know my wife was complaining. She said that I need to get out of my chair more. So I got rid of the chair. Now I have a bar stool that I sit on all the time. So I don't have to get out of the chair. It's not a chair. Leave me alone. It's a stool. Mm-hmm. Stop it.
Remind me to talk about the chair. Well, we're not going to have any time in between guests today because the next guests have already arrived. We have your website going across in the scroll there, drdeanhowell.com.
Okay.
How does it typically begin with you? It'll like start with a consultation. I mean,
yes.
Tell me about how the process works.
So when people sign up with us, we have to have them join our membership association so that it's legal for us, or not illegal for us to discuss things.
Lawful.
And then what we want to start doing is evaluating their situation to figure out what it is that they need to do. So we have an initial consult. We can do that, people to people, or we can do it online. And some people, what they're really looking for more is guidance and diet, and get the right things to kill the parasites, yeast and fungus. We can neutralize the COVID shots and childhood vaccines. There's actually ways, if they're getting side effects from those things, we can neutralize them. I do constitutional homeopathy and things as well. And we change their diet. We do those kind of things. And then if they are the people that need the hands-on work, then they arrange to meet us at one of our locations as we travel.
Yeah.
I just had one question real quick. I used to belong to the Theosophical Society. By chance,
I knew that. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, that's all I was about to ask
you. My best friends belong to that. In fact, he knew, what was her name? He knew the founder.
Madame Blavatsky.
Yeah, Madame Blavatsky.
Wow.
He lived with her for a while. With her for a while.
Man, I did.
Yeah, really.
She was a piece of work. I didn't know her.
That's what he said too.
Yeah, because to be honest, you had to balance her anti-Semitism with her knowledge.
A lot of people, you take the good and you hope.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because she had a lot of good thoughts, but you had to kind of realize that, yes, she was also anti-Semitic.
Wow.
He wasn't anti-anything, this guy. He loved the whole population. He said there's two kinds of people in the world, the good and the bad. You love them all, but you dance with the good.
Yeah, anti-Semitism. I did not see that coming.
I didn't either, actually. I was like, whoa. He never said that.
Anyway, I appreciate you being here. You're welcome back anytime. I don't think we really scratched the surface here.
No, we didn't.
There's
by the way, the reason
talk,
I fidget a lot
her.
is because I'm very short and he's very tall. So I have to try to get up there.
Well, time is short and so are you.
I'm a hobbit. I'm like a hobbit.
It must be rough to buy shoes. I'm sick. I've never seen their feet.
Thank you for being here this morning and sharing your information. I hope some people will go to drdeanhowell.com and find out what it's all about and find out more about what it's all about.
And we're very people oriented.
Yeah.
Send us an invite. We'd be happy to come back on.
All right, good.
Yeah. We're going to talk Theosophical Society.
Good luck in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, and you need good luck. East New York is where my family is.
That's where I was born.
Oh, yeah. Pitkin Avenue and Chestnut Street. Yeah. All right. Thank you for being here. Have a great day. And
God bless
bye for now.
you.
Bye-bye.
All of you.
Bye. Dr. Dean Howell and Rebecca. Rebecca is just known as Rebecca. She's not of Sunnyside Farms or Sunnybrook Farms or Sunnyside.
Sunny Side Up.
Yeah, Sunnyside Up. What did I want to mention to you? I forgot. Now, there was something I wanted to bring up.
You probably was going to talk about meninges.
What was I going to talk about?
Meninges. Remember, you was talking about when you lived, when you were a kid, used to swim the Meninges River, or was it tubing? Did you go tubing in the Meninges River?
No.
I'm
like, what the fuck? I think he's been to Pooch Patak already today.
No, I was doing that because Dean and Becky are still in the green room, so they can still hear me, and that's why I just did the Meninges River thing for them.
All right, that's nice. You're very courteous in that regard.
Thank
you know what? Before we get to Kyle and Jordan, I want to
Jordan with no last name.
Well, neither did Rebecca have a last name. This is the show.
Yeah, but it's right there. I mean, even on their YouTube thing, it's just Kyle and Jordan. But I'm just learning that Kyle has a last name.
Well, I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. I want to play. It's only 3 minutes long. Let's take 3 minutes. Can we take 3 minutes on my own show to plug my own video?
I don't know. It's your show. I don't know if we have 3 minutes. Since it's your show, let's give you 2.5.
Yeah. All right. This is the new video that premiered last night for Winds of Change. It's a song I wrote in 1980. I went through this whole thing yesterday. Wrote it in 1980, rewrote it in 2024, repurposed it, and redid it just a couple of nights ago. And let me see if I can just bring it up here. I think I can by just pushing a button and saying, okay, right? That's how you do things around here. It's called Winds of Change.
Just a mess. You suffer for mistakes that were made. Too late to second guess. You're searching for a reason. Don't let it shake your confidence. You gotta keep believing. Someday it all will make sense. And nothing ever stays the same. It's all just a part of the game. And you're just a slave to the wind of change.
right. That's Winds of Change. That's on the YouTube channel now. Premiered last night. Can get rid of that. Removed from the studio there. Please.
And says cool video. And from California says new cool video.
Oh, cool. Well, please go to the YouTube channel and find it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, why not? And then please leave a comment, because YouTube digs those comments. If you comment on it, YouTube says, "Oh, people was like," and then I don't know if you know this, but let's show people that video. That's what YouTube said. I don't know if you ever heard the YouTube algorithm speak, but it sounds like Willie.
I actually think you did a very good impression of the way the YouTube speaks, because I've heard it and it sounds almost exactly like that.
All right. Kyle and Jordan, for lack of a better, well, Kyle has a last name, Yankowski, right?
Yes.
They are the proprietors, the hosts, the think tank, the brain trust, the genius behind a new podcast called Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards.
Now, I want to ask them. I want to ask them if they actually hate cheese, or is it just the effects that it has on the bowels? I just need to know that.
Well, what about cheese?
If they actually hate cheese, or just the effects it has on the bowels? Because
what effect does it have on the bowels? Tightens it?
It's supposed to bind. It's like the cheese that binds. I was just wondering, because I hate cheese productions, and I'm just curious. That's all.
Yeah, this is not necessarily good for people finding your stuff. If it's the Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards, and then on the YouTube channel is actually, and I'll bring that up, it is the I Hate Cheese Productions channel, which might confuse some people there. It's right there. Let's bring them in. The Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards is a blend of profound insights and side-splitting. I don't want my side split. It's like I don't want my skull reshaped either. Side-splitting humor. They're here now. Let's say hello to Kyle and Jordan. Good morning, Kyle and Jordan, or Jordan and Kyle, however you prefer. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning.
It's going well. Jordan has the last name. It's Lee Richards, right?
Oh, he added that. He's just trying to make me a liar, okay? He's trying to make me a liar. He did not have that before. He confessed. Confess, Jordan. Confess. You added
Jordan,
that.
I did.
You're
I
on Blind Mike's
did.
payroll, aren't you? You're on Blind Mike's payroll. Admit it.
Yeah, he's trying to make me look bad. He
added already.
And then what you're just going to do afterwards, he's going to change it to something else, to his actual real name. So I will be saying Lee Richards, and he'll be going like, he lied. He didn't even pay attention. He wasn't even watching my name. He kept calling me Jordan Lee Richards. And
all right. So let's talk about the Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards podcast. From the graphic, it looks like you guys are into everything and anything. I see Bigfoot, not Bigfoot. I see aliens. I see all sorts of psychedelic type of things in there. What exactly is the focus and the reason that you guys started this?
Man, the focus is all about like conspiracy, and really we try to just focus on love.
Love.
It's all about the love.
Yeah, man, we believe that love is the foundation of everything. I met Kyle about 6 or 7 months ago in a podcast that was going on called Comedy Writers Guild, and he was kind of talking about some things that touch on the lines of a spiritual experience that I had, and we started riffing in the chat. And I was like, man, this dude right here, he gets it. So I reached out to him and we started chatting, and it just kind of blossomed from that. And so, yeah, we found the Higher Consciousness, Lower Standards podcast together.
This whole idea of whatever you want to define love as, the higher consciousness and all of that. I feel like, and I started the program today. I don't know if you guys caught the opening several hours ago, but humanity is gone. I don't know if you're aware, but Kick, one of the programs we're on, did a marathon stream where they tortured one of the members of the podcast to death, and people were paying to keep it going. Like, here's another $5, keep going. And the guy finally died, one of their friends on the program. So I feel like humanity I've reached a tipping point where there is no hope. You talk about love being the key to all it. I feel like it's gone. We've lost any chance of redeeming humanity for any other stuff. What do you got for my negativity there? Bring me back. Come on, pull me off the ledge.
Well, for me, in November of 2022, I had a very profound spiritual experience. I'm 6 years in recovery from alcohol and benzos, and 3 years into that recovery, I didn't have a higher power. I really wasn't believing in anything. Heck, I was going around saying that my higher power was a mix of Matthew McConaughey and Kanye West.
Woof,
And
that's
then,
Whoa. That sounds like, whoa.
Yeah,
well,
that's
not
benzos and
anymore.
alcohol.
Not anymore. But it was keeping me sober, and it was kind of a running joke with a few friends of mine. And then one day I had this experience where I truly felt like I met the creator of this universe. And in that, it showed me that the decisions that I was making off of self, pride, jealousy, envy, it was going to separate me from my son and separate me from just the good things in life. And in that moment that I had made a conscious decision that I didn't want that, I went from feeling this real deep, profound feeling of dread into this sense of love. And it felt like that the universe had just hugged me with this unconditional love, not only unconditional, but an infinite type of love. And so in everything that I do now, especially from the trauma that I've had since I was a young child, I've learned to love myself through that. And not only love myself, but love the people that have offended me, and just truly go out of my way to give this real intentional love into the universe.
Sounds
You
a
know,
lot like
I just want to apologize to Jordan because I did not know you had a problem with dread. Otherwise, I would have changed my hairstyle. I didn't want to trigger you, and
No,
I
sir.
apologize.
Hey, I had my dreads a couple years ago, but I cut them out, and this is what I'm left with.
Where is your level of optimism or realism or pessimism for what you just described? Because I think what you just described as an individual, that's good for you. But if you look at humanity as a whole, it seems like we're all going, the majority of the 8 billion people are going in the opposite direction of you. And there's no way you're going to change 8 billion minds to agree with you on these things. So where's your level of optimism, pessimism, or realism on what you just described to me?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because last night I was having this conversation with my girlfriend before we went to sleep. And as a job that I do day to day, I work in a treatment center that deals with kids that struggle with addiction. So on everything that I do, including my son that lives with me full time, it's about healing the world. I want to talk to everybody. I want to get this message out to every single person that will hear me, that if we just stop for a minute in our own self-pity, our own negativity, our own character defects, and just for a moment, just a moment, identify what's inside of us, which is our conscience, our soul. If we understand that at a basic level, then we can identify that there's something greater going on here than just the human flesh. And if we can love ourselves for that, then we can make change. Synchronicities start to happen. You can start to see the world open up, that the possibility of a simulation is real. Anything that your heart has ever desired, or whatever you wanted to be in this life, can become real because you're giving yourself a chance through love. I say that love is the cheat code to everything.
That's nice kumbaya talk, but the reality is we're seeing the world become a much darker place. Again, if I come back to the idea of 5 young men doing a podcast to torture one of their group and kill him, they weren't intending to kill him. They were just intending to keep the torture going for a thing. And people in the audience, including the CEO of the platform, Kick, were sending donations. Keep it going. Keep torturing him. The guy's mother called and said, please stop torturing. Let him out of there. He said, Mom, I can't get out of here. They got me captive. Please help. He was begging for his life. And people were enjoying, I mean, en masse. They had more streamers than Kick has ever had, enjoying watching this young man be tortured to death over 5 days and contributing money to it. Keep it going. it doesn't seem like what you're talking about is contributing to a greater humanity and people really coming to any kind of love. It sounds like, and if I keep my eyes open to the news, which is not a healthy thing to do, which I will admit, wrecking homeless camps, and in other words, taking people who've lost everything already, they're living on the street, destitute, and let's just tear down their tent and make things even worse for them. It seems like the black heart of evil has, and I don't know when we reach this tipping point, but it's definitely in the last 10, 15 years, in my view, where the world itself is ready for the asteroid.
Well, the world is a scary place. We have to identify that, but we can also identify that there's duality in that, and that through good, there's also going to be things like people being tortured, homeless camps being wrecked. We have to understand that when we see those things, that we're having an experience. We're going through our own experience of understanding of why this is happening, and it's truly, when you feel that sense of why is this happening, that's the creator telling you do something about it. You can change the narrative here. There's still hope for humanity. And that's why I call it the Great Awakening, because Kyle lives across the country from me. He lives in Washington and I live in the woods of deep East Texas. And
Well, so which Washington, state or DC?
State.
Okay, that way. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't know because of the way you were pointing. I didn't know which way. Okay.
It'll be backwards wherever I'm pointing. That's how it always works out for me. But through this real intention of trying to just put my energy out there, I meet people like Kyle that are on the same path as I am, and we understand that yes, the world is a dark place, but that's the way that it's supposed to be, because without good, how do we even know what bad is? If there's bad things happening, how do we change that narrative? How do we go forward from this? We have to identify that, yes, it is bad. And yes, those things are terrible. Now, how do we go away from this happening on an everyday type situation where somebody's streaming on Kick every single day? We have to bring awareness to these things and then work into the opposite. It's kind of like quantum physics. Energy is never created nor destroyed. It's only transferred. So if you have that basic understanding that, yes, there's an energy in that, but if you want it to change, you have to cut it off at its source and then reciprocate that energy and filter it into love. You have to filter it into your own style of what you identify as love is, and then move forward from that.
But it's, okay, if based on that, then doesn't sound like you're actually lowering standards, and it actually sounds like you're. Is that part of your thing? Where did the lowering standards come from? Is that also, did we create that, or who created that?
That's more of the joke part of the.
Okay, so they did come from you. So I'm saying, because if you're not, it doesn't sound like you're lowering standards. It actually sounds like you're trying to raise standards by saying, guys, look, we see where you are, but this is where we can be. So I was just curious.
Yeah, well, we like to keep it light and playful, and we try to add some comedy to it. So that's more the lower standards part, is trying to get some laughs while rapping with people about spirituality and like life experiences. And really just trying to.
Yeah, I have noticed that. So how long have you been doing the podcast? Not that long, right?
Let's see. It's a little
Today
over a
at
month.
noon, we'll have our 8th episode will drop.
All right, congratulations. No, a lot of people don't even make it to 8. Now, most of the people you've had on are comedians, right? Most of the guests you've had on are comedians.
I don't understand. You've had 8. Wait, this is what hurts me. You've had 8 whole episodes, and you haven't had me on yet.
You're not. First of all, let me hold on. You're not a comedian. You're.
I'm a humorist. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm a humorist. I don't qualify. That's right. Never mind.
They didn't say anything about having certified forensic humorists on.
Okay, never mind. I take it back.
We're just now meeting. We're just now meeting, and nothing's impossible. So you never know. We might shoot out an email to you and have you on.
Yeah. Do you find that you have a lot of comedians who are interested in this subject, and because My take on comedians, and we've had one or two on this program over the years, right? Don't you think we've had a comedian on or two?
Yeah, I think I've been on here for what 600 episodes. I think we've had 3 comedians.
Yeah. Oh.
And actually, I'm counting Jackie twice. So.
Oh yeah. Jackie will be on Monday again. But my general take on the comedian mindset is they look for things to observe and comment on, not always in a positive light. I'm just. Do you find that the comedians that you've talked to are receptive to this idea that you're putting out there, which I will again classify as sort of kumbaya?
I believe so. I mean, not all of them believe in spirituality, but they do believe in love. So
I think they do believe in spirituality. Well, at least they believe in God, especially when they start dying on stage. I think that's one of the first things. Like, dear God, send me a punchline. Dear God, please let me be funny.
Can you elaborate on spirituality? What does that mean? Because I heard Jordan say the creator. You believe in God?
Absolutely.
A single God who created the universe?
All that is. Everything.
Wow.
God is in the trees that are outside of our house right now. I mean, I'm not out there hugging the
I
trees.
would get a ladder and help him get down.
or find out who's the bastard that chased them up there. No.
Yeah. It wasn't my dog, because the dog is what left with the kids a couple of days ago. So I don't know.
So if I understand correctly, you're not talking about the anthropomorphic God, like the white bearded guy up in the sky.
No.
So you're thinking more of like a universal consciousness that connects a connectivity through everything.
It's like, the best way I can explain it is like the concept of, like, you have an ice cube, right? And that ice cube is just pure consciousness.
Oh.
And you break that ice cube into like 1 billion pieces. And all those pieces are their own consciousness. But they all form that one cube. Everything that is conscious in existence forms that one cube, like us, like everything. So we are.
Now, Matt has already gotten to the fact that you've broken up the ice cube. It's going to melt a lot faster because you've increased the surface area by an infinite amount of possibilities. So that ice cube is not going to last. It's going to evaporate. So you just killed God. That's what I'm talking about. That's where Matt went. I can tell you, he didn't say it, but his face went.
But through belief, you can make sure that ice cube doesn't melt.
Oh, have you tried that? Is that I would love to try that as an experiment and see how that goes. You're just going to will an ice cube into not melting?
If it's at 32 degrees,
if you're an Eskimo, it would probably work out well.
Yeah, because 32 degrees,
find the right
melting point and the freezing point, so it'll do both. And it can still evaporate at 32 degrees as well.
So I just want to come back to this idea of defining what spirituality actually means, because it sounds like I asked the question when one God created the universe. I think Jordan gave me and I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think it was an enthusiastic yes. But where does that idea come from? Because the idea, before there was one God, there were many gods, even within the. Because I'm just wondering if the God you think is the creator of the universe is the God that the Jews, because this is in America, Judeo-Christian stuff all comes from this idea that stemmed from the Jewish belief in one God, which originally stemmed from many gods.
Well, just for the clarification, it's not that the Jews only believe in one God; they just only worship one God.
Right.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have all the other gods mentioned in their Old Testament.
Right. So, and with that, worshiping one God, but there are many gods. According to that belief, how do you come to this create one God? And where is it because your parents taught you about this? Is because or somebody gave you this idea, or where does your idea of one monotheism come from?
For me, I grew up in a Southern Baptist Christian. We went to church every day, and I grew up believing that Jesus died for our sins. And then when I got older, I went into treatment and I picked up the Tao Te Ching. which is old Chinese text. And from that, I started to have this journey, I would say, journey of truth. And what I started to realize is that in all of these stories, they were kind of the same. There was a little bit of truth in this. There was a little bit of truth in the Tao Te Ching. There was a little bit of truth in the Quran. And so what I felt like in my spiritual awakening was that the Creator created all of this, including the gods that we believe in today. We don't cut away from somebody's belief system. We try to identify with them that yes, what you believe in is true because that is your perspective. And it all comes back to the foundation of love because God essentially is love.
No, you lost me. It's definitely in a sea of word salad about kumbaya and all this stuff because, and I'm not trying to be confrontational or definitely talk you about out of your belief. I think if it works for you, good, and you should follow what's working for you. But when you talk about truth is subjective, and especially in today's world. There are people who believe they found the truth, which is completely contrary to the idea of the truth that you believe you found. So it is a bit subjective there. And love is defined differently by different people too. And consciousness, I haven't found anybody who can actually give me, and I talked to a lot of physicists, I've talked to a lot of people who are philosophers, can't get a single really unified definition of the word consciousness. It's a word that people throw around and use all the time. So it becomes really muddy, and it's easy to go down this God is love, everything. And I think, and not to again denigrate your beliefs or anything, but I think this idea of one creator, you mentioned your upbringing in a Southern Baptist church, I think that plays into where your vision of truth comes from, because a lot of people in the debate world about theism and atheism and monotheism and polytheism, the idea of where our thoughts about this stuff come from, and it almost always comes from parental or cultural upbringing. So to what degree is your belief in a single creator, a single God who created everything, come from your upbringing in church?
Well, basically, what I can identify as my soul is an energy that is within me. If I make a bad decision, if I hurt somebody, I start to feel guilt. I start to feel shame. I start to feel dread. And from that feeling, if I go and right those wrongs, whatever I'm feeling on the inside, where I can identify my conscience to be, starts to feel better. So then I can identify that that's where my soul resides. And another thing that I like to tell people is if you have a thought inside you, it's your own thought, it's your lonely thought. If you sit with that thought, you have to identify that there is something inside of your brain that's also listening to that thought, audibly listening without ears, without anything happening. Something is hearing that thought. And so then you're like, wow, why, if I'm having a thought in my brain and then there's also something hearing that thought, what could that possibly be? And through the awakening that I had a few years ago, I could identify that as my conscience. It's not really, as far as my upbringing goes, the church really hurt me. I had a very negative experience there at the end with the church and what people defined as love and what they were showing me love to be as a real negative thing. And I felt that if I wanted to help people in this world and show people a better way, that I needed to do the opposite. I needed to show people empathy. I needed to show people compassion. I just needed to stop and listen to people whenever they're truly hurting, because maybe that's all they need is an ear to hear. And from that, I really found that I was really just stopping to show people just love.
How's that go over in Texas these days?
It's really, believe it or not, I have there's not any negativity that comes my way. I have a couple people that would probably say that I'm annoying and they don't like me, and that it is what it is. But at the end of the day, they want to have a conversation. If I were to say that I'm done with the podcast, I don't want to talk no more, I'm going back to my old life, I would have a floodgate of messages from people that I wouldn't even suspect saying, hey, you're inspiring me in a certain way, because it's happened before. And that's why I do this now, is because I know that there's people out there that stay silent, but I truly know deep down that they're receiving a message. And we're just a third person here from what we feel like that the creator is trying to do. Like I
Wow.
said earlier, there's a great awakening happening in this world, and people are waking up to the idea that this love that we talk about, this unconditional, unbiased love for humanity and humankind, it's happening. And we're identifying ourselves with other people that are having this same awakening, and it's undeniable. And we're just here to spread that message.
All right. When Jordan talks about the people who are remaining silent, he's talking about you, right, Kyle? Because that's your job so far.
Basically, yeah, you know.
So is this the way the podcast goes? Jordan does most of the talking, and you just sit there and nod.
No, it's a little bit of back and forth. You know, I like to dive into people's. I ask a little more personal questions, like, you know, I try to focus on things like, are they holding any regrets inside, or like, you know, grudges, that kind of thing, or try to help people work through those things. You know, it's kind of like
So you're a therapist. You're going to help me get past my grudges. Because listen, I agree that people shouldn't hold grudges. I try not to, but again, trying is not doing, and I fail a lot of times. I at least am conscious of the negative thoughts that I hold on to, and make an effort to try to cleanse myself of them. But it's not always easy, even with a therapist. Now, with the comedians that you've had on, are they receptive? Are you cherry picking the ones who you already know are going to be receptive to these kinds of ideas?
Not necessarily. I prefer trying to find people with unique stories. Like, I like people that have gone through some shit and are really coming out on the other side, looking at life through a better lens.
Well, comedian Stephen Ortiz, and I use the word comedian very liberally there. He says, conscious of your ball sweat. Of course you would be, Stephen. It's in there. It's on the tip of your tongue.
Wait a minute. When did he start using comedian Stephen Ortiz? Didn't he? Why? Why would he do that? He knows that you don't put the word comedian in your name if you're a comedian. I like Stephen the sitcom better. What the fuck did he do?
If we're being fair here, you didn't like sitcom at the beginning too. You were.
No, I didn't like sitcom. I didn't, but I got it. I got it. Comedian, I don't get. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid.
Now, are you just gonna have comedians on the show?
No. We just want genuinely unique people.
Genuinely unique people. There's 8 billion people to choose from. That's everybody on the planet is genuinely unique, aren't they?
People that specify as not normal.
I think that's 8 billion people again. I don't think I've ever met a normal person. GD, have you ever met a normal person yet?
Normally, I don't meet normal people.
Normally, no, I don't think so. I don't think they exist. I don't know where the defining line of normal is.
When I was in school, there was a course called abnormal psychology, and they used to say, if you don't see yourself in abnormal psychology, then there's something wrong with you.
Why is Stephen calling? Who's Stephen calling a douche? First of all, me.
He's calling me a douche.
I think you need to talk to Jordan and get on the love side, Stephen.
Stephen's calling me a douche because I responded.
Well, he should love you.
Well, he loved me on the phone like a few minutes ago, but he don't love me long time. Just for a few minutes, he loved me.
What is hate but love reversed? You know, it's all the same energy.
It's a thin line between love and hate. That song's
That
way too
sounds
low for you
incestuous.
guys.
He says, "I see me in you." That sounds like he's trying. That sounds sexual. I don't.
That's a little gay.
Oh, well, whatever. Steven, shouldn't you be stealing money from the bank right now?
And Steven says he loves your mustache, Kyle.
So,
And Ann
Aw,
says that Jordan,
thank
you're an
you.
inspiration.
I'm going to give you, maybe I'll send you guys some information offline about publicists who I work with who deal with people who come from consciousness and energy and all this kind of things from different angles, authors and stuff. And then you will be inundated with guest requests to the fact that you will never have to look for another guest ever again in your life.
Well, actually, he may have to, because you may have to look for guests because sometimes they sign up but don't show up.
Right.
So
Not,
you
a lot of
may
them
have to look for guests.
I would say a unfair, an unusual amount of them do.
The normal amount. The normal amount.
What's normal? I don't remember normal. Do you guys have in mind for the podcast a dream guest? Because I did when I started podcasting in my second iteration of starting podcasting. I had a dream guest. Somebody who I said, this is the guest, my golden.
Matt, they haven't asked me yet. Stop it! You're embarrassing me.
No, I had the guy on within 2 months, and then I felt like, well, wait, I should just quit now. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that. I guess I have to find a new dream guest. Do you guys have this ideal guest in mind? Somebody you would love to have that you haven't been able to reach yet?
Man, me personally, like, I think it would be awesome to have a conversation with a guy named Bashar. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Second baseman for the New York Mets.
Yeah, second baseman for the New York Mets. That's GD's answer to anybody. Have you heard of him? How about you, Jordan? Is there anybody in particular you would love to talk to and pick their brain? Or
I've been reading a lot of Dolores Cannon. And
shortstop for the New York Mets.
She's not around anymore, but if I could just sit down with her and pick her brain a little bit and listen to her perspective of what she's going through, I think that would probably be my dream guest.
You said she's not around anymore. You said she's not around anymore. Did she pass on? Because you said she's not around anymore, but you like to pick her brain about what she's going through.
That's a dead brain.
Yeah, that.
But like I said, I've been reading a lot of her books, and I read audiobooks. And she passed away, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. But what she had started to do was she was a hypnotherapist, and she was helping people that had gone through trauma. But then when she started to realize, like, hey, you know, when I do these hypnotherapy sessions, whatever's happening inside of them is going before they were born. And they were having these experiences, and some of them were even having alien abductions and talking about spending time on spaceships and whatnot. And she
whatnot.
It's a.
I don't know if there is a whatnot beyond spending times on spaceships. I think that's where the whatnot is drawn. I did not know this about Slaptail. He said, dude, I just came across her videos. I'm going to do a deep dive on her. He's actually confessing to necrophilia there. So there you go. He's going to do a deep dive on a corpse. Good for you. We support whatever gets you through the night around here. Well, you mentioned aliens. Now Steven's dick got hard as soon as you said the word alien.
Mine did too.
I think we made a love connection. We made a love connection, Chuck.
We've gone from necrophilia to alienophilia.
Feeling aliens.
If you can sum up within the next hour or so, what do you think about it? I mean, this idea of alien visitation. First of all, I would preface my remarks by saying the universe is so big. I think there has to be intelligent life elsewhere. The question is, would they come here and why? And what the hell would the purpose be? But just your take on aliens, UFOs, your belief system as far as where we're at in knowledge of what the hell the phenomenon is all about.
I mean, for me, it's like, where do you...
Okay, go ahead, Kyle.
I was just thinking, like, how do you explain something like the universe where there is no beginning and there is no ending? It just simply exists infinitely. And to think that we're here, we're all, interacting on this one planet. How do we not know that there are other planets like this one?
I agree with that. I mean, I think I said that. I think the idea that there has to be life elsewhere, an intelligent life elsewhere in the universe. But even like, why come here? I mean, I'm on Long Island, New York, and just last week I went to Cold Spring Harbor for the first time in my life, and I was like, I've never been there, and the only reason I went there was because I had business that day. So the question becomes like, why take that trip all the way across this vast universe? For what goal, and why they might want to come here? What's so interesting about this dopey little existence where we're talking to two guys on a podcast about their podcast, which is about their dopey existence out in there? It's why would they? What's so interesting about us?
What's so interesting about us is because
why would they want to come here?
And it takes
My
a long
belief is
time.
like, I would think it's because we are connected directly to source energy. And we are connected to God in that sense.
The same one God, not the multiple gods.
Well, in the Bible, they describe multiple gods as the Elohim, which if you really like dive deep into it, if God is consciousness and we are conscious beings, wouldn't that also make us Elohim?
I don't know. I don't know. When you come, I have no answers about this stuff. Only questions. I
would say no. Maybe not. If you're saying part of, sure. But if you're saying like equal to, nah. Because yeah, if people look at God as being limitless, okay, I'm not one of those. But there are people who look at God as being limitless. We are limited. We are limited by definition. So we cannot be gods. We can be like a reflection, maybe, or byproduct or waste product, but
reflections. Yes.
Don't ever call me waste product again. I feel shitty when you do that. There's an article today in Popular Mechanics. I don't know how this plays into popular. Your consciousness can jump through time, meaning gut feelings are memories from the future. Scientists say. I mean, what is a scientist but somebody who calls himself a scientist? But what do you guys have any formal education in physics and understanding of quantum physics at all? No,
I don't. Nope.
So
I'm just a hick from East Texas.
Just a hick from East Texas.
See, they study quantum physics in West Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
in
true.
Austin.
Lubbock and Amarillo definitely has hippie communes there where they're definitely into a lot. I even did in the 80s and late 70s when I was spending a great deal of time there. But so these ideas that you come up with are based on feelings and belief systems rather than data, right? Is that fair to say?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we know what we feel and we trust our gut because our gut is our higher selves guiding us to our preferred situation.
Trusting your gut, yeah. Well,
now, how often do you do your podcast? When do you release it on a regular basis? Is it live? Is it Memorex? I'm sorry, I said Memorex. I said Memorex, and I totally disrespected the
These
audience.
guys weren't even born when Memorex
Right?
was
Yeah, I'm sorry. Those of you who don't know the Ella Fitzgerald commercials, I apologize.
on the radio in 1940.
We drop an episode every Tuesday between noon and 1 p.m. Central Time. So every Tuesday we have a new episode that comes out, and then we record an episode on Tuesday evenings. Now those aren't live. We like to go back, and if there's a mistake or if somebody wants to cut something out, we have the opportunity to do that then.
I hate that. No, that's fine for you, and I'm not saying I hate that you do that. I hate that for me personally is having to edit stuff, and I also hate. Don't say the fact that people might regret what they said. Don't come on this program ever and say something that you don't mean from your heart, and that you're going to ask me to edit out later. I feel like if you're going to
Well,
say
they
it,
can't because it's
believe it.
live.
Yeah,
It's live. It's not. Yeah.
And I have gotten requests from people. Can you edit that out? Like,
Yeah.
no, you shouldn't have said it. And I don't. I'm not telling you what you do. I do me. But any of that with you, where you know what, I appreciate trying to take care of you and keep you in. But why did you say it if you want me to edit it out? I mean,
Yeah. You do you. I do Maine.
Any of that,
domain.
Jordan, on your with the guests who don't want you to air something that they might have said. Well, what the hell did you say it to me for then? Any of that kind of attitude towards it or not?
It's more so the way that we talk. Sometimes we might say stutter or we might say and it's just word patterns and things like that
fine.
We like to cut out. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, were you just on YouTube, or is that where you are, or you do audio versions on the RSS feeds and all that stuff?
Like we said, we're brand new. For right now, we're just on YouTube, but we plan on expanding. We've got a little bit of a team that's coming together to help us because Kyle and I both have 40-hour full-time jobs. So we have some people that are stepping up and really helping us out, and we plan on expanding from YouTube also.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I would just suggest, and again, this is my disclaimer on anything that I give that sounds like advice. I'm an idiot, but one of the easiest ways to get started in getting out to a broader audience is to get on Spotify Anchor, which is free. Created for Spotify, I think it is now. It's formerly Anchor FM, and if you go to Anchor FM, it will bring you right there. And you can upload your stuff for free. They automatically put it into several RSS feeds, which you can then send to Apple and all that kind of stuff, and get it to reach a audience who is going to be listening in cars and all that. And they also have video feeds too, so you can upload your video. I think people think, I get on YouTube and call it a podcast, and yeah, YouTube has a huge audience, but they work against you. They're not going to show you to a lot of people until you have a big audience. It's a catch-22. You got to build your audience. We're not going to show you to a bigger audience until you have an audience. So I think using some of those RSS feeds to their full advantage of what podcasting is meant to be would help you guys reach a wider audience in a very way. Thought it stopped being free about a year ago. No, I think you think wrong.
I apologize for my cat has been annoying me for the past 15 minutes. I think she wants me to change the channel on the television.
I was going to say, that looks like you found proof of Bigfoot behind you. What is it?
No, I had her watching television. I think she wants me to change the channel because she was watching Democracy Now! And I think she wants me to change channels because she keeps bugging me, and I have no idea what else to do.
Yeah.
She wants democracy later.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around because I have a guest coming on who wants to talk about psychedelics as being the key to unlocking the door to your consciousness and reaching a higher self. I'm just trying to get a full encompassing view. Any subjects within the paranormal that are off limits to you guys?
Nope.
Nothing's off limits.
Have you had psychics mediums, and these people?
Not yet.
Do you believe in talking to dead people who talk to the dead?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Well, he didn't say he believed that they actually do it. He said he believes in the people that do it. Okay. I believe in people that talk to the dead. I don't know if they actually can, but I believe that they do.
Have you had any of those experiences? Like, have you talked to people who passed on?
I haven't talked to people on the other side, but I did have an interaction with a haunting in an old house.
Haunting? Interesting.
Yeah, I actually had Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
With Jason and Grant and those guys, they came to my old house and did an episode at my old house.
Wow.
And they caught some footage. So
caught some footage.
Cool.
Now what's on the footage?
The black mass and some voices.
Black mass.
Yeah, it was a big black figure that I'd see on a regular basis.
Okay, because the term black mass refers to a witch's gathering, a witch's ritual. Black masses.
I thought black mass was that dark matter between.
It's also a Martin Luther King Jr. rally.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many people you get before it gets to critical mass, critical black mass. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I've had lots, and 40 years of interviewing those people with different kind of anomalies, caught on tape, and all that stuff. So talking to dead people, hauntings. Now, the haunting was in your case. I'm interested in this. Was it malicious? Was it this? Because to classify it as a haunting, it's not just a spirit that is hanging around trying to communicate with you. I think of haunting as like almost poltergeist behavior, bad, evil, doing things that are troublesome. Is that what you experienced?
Yeah. The guys at Ghost Hunters even said it was a poltergeist. And it was basically, they did research and found that the house was on a large limestone deposit, which amplifies energy. And there was one night that I was just laying in bed and my closet was closed, no windows were open, and all the coat hangers in my closet just started violently rattling, like all of them. And I was freaking out that night, but I just like to keep that ghost in the closet.
I would ask him. I mean, and ever any communication, like, did you hear voices, like even just could be just a word or two? Did you have any communication with this?
Well, I'm just saying, wait a minute. You're out on the West Coast. That could have been a aftershock from an earth, or pre-shock, or a platonic shift. I mean, it's so subtle that it's just the hangers felt it.
He's a West Coastist. It's like being a racist, but it's a bigotry against West Coast people. But any kind of communication. I just I'm wondering, like, if my coat hangers started rattling all of a sudden, I'd be like, "What's up? Somebody need an abortion?" Or something.
It's all, the ghost of all those children are back, shaking their hangers.
But any words, like, because like even in the amateur, get out, or in any of that kind of voices or communications like that.
It was mostly just kind of like moans and groans, just.
It was definitely the ghost of children,
muffled
shaking
sounds.
Hangers. Yeah.
Now,
and the footsteps going up and down the stairs.
What was the relevance of the limestone? I mean, why is that important? Is that important?
He said it amplifies signal.
They said it's an energy amplifier.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And if we're all just energy, then
I think I would classify myself as lack of energy. That's what I am. I'm lack of energy. I'm low T.
Now, in England, do they call that limey stone? I'm just curious.
All right. So now that's psychic mediums. What about people who are clairvoyant and mind readers and all these kind of people? Any? Do you believe in that stuff? I mean, what I'm trying to get to is, where is the scope? Because I have this thing that once you open your door, and it's good to be open-minded, but it's also good to be able to shut the door on your open mind at some point, because most of the people that I've encountered, once they started going down this, I'm going to open my belief systems, it becomes anything and everything. So that if I question, is the Easter Bunny real? They say, sure, if you believe it's real. And it's like, no, I can tell you for a fact. And this, I think, is pretty provable that no bunny is bringing me chocolate on Easter Sunday.
That's because you don't believe, you little rat bastard. I wouldn't come to your house either.
There you go. So, I mean, are there any areas that... Are there any areas that you feel like, wow, that's a bridge too far? Like, it's the Easter Bunny. Would you accept that as a possibility?
Be careful, because if you say the wrong thing, they won't come.
In some
next...
The Tooth Fairy?
I think somewhere out in the universe, if you can believe it, it exists. Somewhere
Really?
out in the infinity, that is the universe.
Wow.
And I believe that everybody's perception
Yeah.
is valid. And so during this experience that we're having, what they believe and what they perceive is their truth. And we want to know why that's their truth.
So but then you're agreeing with me that truth is subjective, because if everybody's truth is different, if their truth, then it's real. Is that what?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. And here's
For
the other
them,
thing.
absolutely.
That shakes the foundation of what my definition of truth is. Truth is an objective fact that is like, and you can go to the flat Earth people. If they believe in the Earth is flat, is it flat? Because objectively, it's not. I mean, science.
Well, for their 1 cubic meter, where they're standing, it's flat.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Where they're standing is flat, and it doesn't matter the rest of the world. Right here, it's flat.
But it does matter the rest of the world when they draw.
I'm just saying, but wherever they're standing, it's flat.
I agree with you. I'm going to agree with you that is an objective truth. But they all draw a map of the world, which has an ice wall around Antarctica, and it's kind of like a flat disc, like a frisbee floating out in space, and that's objectively not true. So the idea that truth can be subjective rattles the foundation of what my definition of what truth is. That's a really difficult concept for me to wrap my head around. But again, whatever works for people. I'm not trying to talk them out.
I'm not trying to talk them out of it either. They're wrong about the flat earthers. They're wrong, but I'm not going to try to talk them out of it. They're just wrong.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good for ratings. I mean, when I had Zach try to talk them out of it, we got like 70,000 in one day. So that's a good thing to do. That's a good subject for you guys. If you want to really boost your awareness on YouTube, do a flat earther thing. Make sure your flat earth is in the title. I guarantee you, your audience will grow.
Get a comedian who believes that there's flat Earth. Yeah. And let's see if they're funny still.
If I
Okay.
we're kind of short on time here. Can I get you? Do you have a take on this flat Earth stuff, Jordan? Would you tell me that if I believe in it, it's true?
Yeah. So basically, there's a little bit of truth in everything. Like I said earlier, I believe that there's a possibility that there are things that happen on this planet that we have no idea. Why can't we go to Antarctica? So if somebody is
hold on a second. I
can't because I don't have
shoot
any
that
money.
down. This was the biggest claim for the flat earthers forever. You're not allowed to go to Antarctica. A guy said, "I will pay your way." He paid the way for 100 flat earthers to go to Antarctica, and they were like, "Oh, I guess you can go here. Wow, the sun doesn't set here." And then all the other people said, "Well, the Antarctica thing wasn't really important to our argument anyway. Let's forget about that. Forget we even said you can't go to Antarctica. Obviously,
but there are certain places you can't go in Antarctica.
Not true. I'm sorry, my friend. That's a myth. That is
well, you stood me
an
corrected.
objective truth that you can go anywhere in Antarctica you want if you got the money or the means to get there. But
you just proved me wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to prove you wrong, but I'm just saying that's where people will go to when they believe in these things. So I just, do you think you're saying there's an element of truth in it? If you have to think that there for the flat Earth stuff, you'd have to think that everybody has a reason. All the scientists for ages now have even the Greeks had a plan to say, let's just lie about the shape of the Earth, and it's just crazy in my view. There is. Do you think there's such a thing as crazy? Either one of you?
No, sir.
No.
No, I think, and here's where I stand, and I'm not a flat earther by any means. I believe that the earth is round, but here's what I truly believe. I believe that we are all here having an experience of suffering. Like you said with the kick thing, there's a lot of people that are being tortured. There's a lot of people that are being hurt. There's children dying every single day, and there's an experience happening where we feel this sense of suffering happening. And if quantum physics rings to be true, then we have to pull ourselves away from that suffering and understand that there can be an opposite to that. And what would it be like if we could do the opposite of this experience of suffering? because every day I struggle with something. But when I meditate, when I breathe, when I connect myself with nature, I understand that the Creator has put me here to have this experience of suffering, and I'm supposed to love myself through this.
Yeah, even in that though, and I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, even in that, you asked the question, what will happen if with the reverse of that? Absolutely nothing. I mean nothing, because if suffering and is part of the learning process and part of the purpose to go through these things, and our motto here is enjoy the suffering. Without the suffering, you'd enjoy nothing. And I think that basically what you're talking about, the end of suffering, means it's the end of life's lessons, the life of, and that's an existence of nothingness. I think the suffering is part and parcel and crucial to the existence. Without it, there'd be no reason to exist. It's a kind, and that's my belief. And
I agree.
Yeah. Well, we do appreciate it. We're kind of out of time. I hope people will go and check you out. Again, 2 cents, whatever it's worth. If you do a show, get on Spotify, my number one piece of advice, and then your audience will grow just from the people who engage in RS feeds on all those networks, Deezer, and all the millions of RSS people who will take your feed and share it to new viewers and listeners. And then do a show on Flat Earth, because I guarantee you, if you do one show on Flat Earth, your numbers will blow up far greater than any show you've done so far.
Now, you may not attract the people you want to attract, but your
I'm not
numbers...
saying you will get a lot of hate if you push back on anything. I mean, the amount of hate I got from the Flat Earthers off the charts. But they're still helping YouTube say people are interested in this. The comment on hate is good in YouTube's view. Let's show it to more people, and they'll put you in front of more people. So
right.
That will definitely help you guys grow and get bigger exposure, and help you get your message, and whatever message that is you're trying to get across to people. You'll get a bigger audience if you do those two things. Been a pleasure to meet you guys, and I wish you good success. And I'm unsolicited. I'm going to send you a bunch of publicist information that will share with you authors of books about all the kind of things that you're talking about. What you do with it is up to you, if you want to contact them or not. But I think it would be helpful to just have all these extra ideas coming in, and people pitching their book that I want to come on and talk about this or that or whatever it is.
And nudity. Lots of nudity.
Yeah, lots of nudity. All right. You guys have a great day. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right. I got the link to where you can find it on YouTube. The other thing I would say, the I Hate Cheese production thing, it's not making it easy for people to find higher consciousness, lower standards. It's just a comment on that. Not really there's anything you can do about it now. The channel is what it's called. So anyway, good luck, and thanks for being here. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye for now. I'm clicking buttons. Jordan and Kyle. Jordan, what was Jordan's last name? Richards? Lee Richards. And Kyle Yankowski.
Right. Now, I have a question for you, Matt. It's totally unrelated to anything, but I need to ask you now before I forget. If Trump decides to send National Guard troops into Baltimore, do you want me to try to broadcast live from one of those protests?
Oh, you bet your bottom testicle I do.
My bottom testicle?
Yeah, it's the bottom one. See, most people think they're left and right, just top and bottom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about your balls. Well, unless you're in Willie's case, then it's only one ball.
And we don't know if that's the top or bottom.
Did he mention Baltimore? Because I know he mentioned Chicago.
Trump mentioned Baltimore.
Probably going to be every city in the United States. Right?
Well, I think it's going to be every city that's mostly black and democratically run. That's the pattern so far. So far, every city has been majority black and has had a black mayor. I
think you're probably right about that. It's just it hurts a little to hear it, but it's probably true. Like a lot of things. I mentioned the publicist. This is kind of funny. I have to mention this, and even though don't talk about this on the broadcast. Yesterday, I got an email from one of our publicists who has booked a you know, like today we've had 2 guests at a time on, right? A guest that were a couple, or not a couple, 2 guests at a time. He says one of them passed away suddenly last weekend. Don't contact the other one directly and express your sympathies and all this. Okay, I wouldn't even know about it if you didn't tell me about it, so I wouldn't be contacting them. But then don't say anything about on your broadcast. Like, why are you telling me this? Or if you wanted to achieve the goal of me not contacting the other party and not talking about it on the broadcast, you could have easily done that by not telling me, because I would not have known. But no, so you're telling me one of these people passed and don't do anything about it. Like, this, it would have been so easy to get me to do nothing about it if you just didn't say.
Yeah. Now it's like, I gotta say something. Why don't they want me to mention it?
Right. Pass suddenly.
Or maybe I got it. Maybe the other person doesn't know that their friend has passed, and if you say something, that's how they find out. Be like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
Nobody told me. My publisher didn't say anything to me.
Yeah. Your wife died. I'm sorry.
I thought she was just missing.
I thought she was in the next room, actually.
I thought she was just fucking the mailman again.
Yeah. I think, you know what, my kumbaya with Kyle and Jordan, my kumbaya, the tolerance for kumbaya is clearly spent. I think Mike Zinn and Willie fucking burnt me on this shit. But it was 40 years in the making where I kind of just had enough of positivity. Put out enough positive energy. Why is so much negative energy coming back to you then? I mean, if you're spreading this, and I think you will find that a lot of, and Jordan even said a lot of people find them annoying. If they're a reflection of the energy you put out, maybe, I don't know. And I'm not saying Jordan is annoying. I'm just saying kumbaya in general. That's my term for what all this positive energy, positive thinking, positive actions. I'm all for. Take action on something if you believe in something, and that's why I'm saying, like with these celebration of cruelty to homeless people. You can put out all the positive energy and positive thoughts you want for that to change. They're not going to change, and they can see that you're not going to do anything. You're just going to sit there and wish me away. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and enjoying my cruelty, and that's what you see in this MAGA movement right now is people celebrating cruelty, and I don't think that's going to change by putting love out there. I think you got to fight fire with fire sometimes, and this time is one of those times. And not saying my way is the right way. I'm just saying that's my subjective truth on it is it's not going to go away, and they're counting on us not doing
right. And that's just it. That's just it. They're counting on the people who want the right thing to do, quote, the right thing, which is to like be peaceful and meantime be. You know, they're counting on people to be. It's like China. It's like Tiananmen Square. Okay, that guy is like standing in front of the tank, going, "No, please be human. Don't run me over." And the tank can't see, can't think, and they're like, "Blah blah 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 blah."
Did that guy get killed? We never got the end of the story with that. Did he get the guy?
I think you know, there had to be somebody martyred there. Somebody named Chai Ling. I think the name was the person who was martyred there. Chai Ling.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said it is because my friends named his dog after that person, out of to honor that person. But let me see. I'm just gonna type in Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square. Good for you being able to spell Tiananmen. Orwellian society. Yeah, I agree, Sunshine. This is where we're at today. It's like, I think we've established long ago that hope died in me. Before Bob Hope actually died, hope died in me long ago. So I don't have a lot of hope for humanity, even though, as I mentioned earlier, there is that mustard seed of faith that, like, the Third Reich died and got what was coming to them. you would like to think, but it didn't die enough that it couldn't come back again as the Fourth Reich. So I feel like it's like, again, every day I go through this thing because I'm getting close to the end, down by the river, close to the edge. But this idea of what the hell was this all about? I mentioned it to you the other day. It's like a movie. You walk out and say, "What the fuck did I just watch for 2 hours?" This life. What the fuck did I just experience for 66 years? That makes no fucking sense on any level. Is it that the good guys don't always win? Is that the message I'm supposed to get from this this trip through life? Is that what's your take on it? Is that the message that we're supposed to, the good guys don't always win? You don't know.
I don't know. I was looking up.
Looking up
Tank
You
Man.
know you weren't. You were looking straight ahead. You weren't looking up.
Well, I was Tank Man. I was just trying to find out if Tank Man lived or died.
Tent Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it says the tanks temporarily stopped, and I'm trying to find out if they resumed. Okay, so let's see here. The Tank Man is a nickname given to an unidentified individual presumed to be a Chinese man who stood in front of a column of Type 59 tanks leaving Tiananmen Square in Beijing on June 5th, 1989. On the previous day, the government of China cleared the square of protesting students after 6 weeks of standoff to the process, killing hundreds of or even thousands of people. Okay, as the lead tank maneuvered to pass by the man, he repeatedly shifted his position in order to obstruct the tank's attempted path around him and forced the tanks to halt to avoid running him over. The man then climbed on top of the tank where the PLA soldiers talked to him. The incident was filmed and shared to a worldwide audience. Internationally, it is considered one of the most iconic images of all time. So apparently, the tank did not run him over. They talked to him.
I think I remember seeing footage of him on top of the tank.
Right, yeah. Now, if he's still alive today, I do not know.
Probably not. That was 1989, right? Or something around there, 1990, something. 88, 89, 90, somewhere in there. So that would be a long time ago, and he was not a kid. Right. I wasn't a kid either, so maybe he's still around. But the question I have is, did it do any good? I mean, overall, it didn't make any change in how China treats people, right? They're going to go into Taiwan and just take it over. I mean,
yeah,
it didn't change anything in the way the evil entity is operating. In the long run, it was good television, but what did it accomplish, right? And this is where I'm like, even we talked to Dr. Brown Marshall, or Marshall Brown, no, Brown Marshall, Professor Brown Marshall, I'm sorry,
right,
about the civil rights movement, like all of that. What did it change anything? Maybe you could say minimally it gave some people a better standard of living, but did it really change anything, especially in light of what you just talked about? They're sending armed National Guard into predominantly black and minority cities. What was the point of the whole civil rights movement if this is where we are 60 years later, 65 years later? Was any of this stuff any good? Does it matter? And my answer to myself would be, no, it's just you're just yanking each other off, passing time, waiting for the end of the movie so you could fucking walk out and not say, oh, hey, where you go, buddy? It's not over yet. You got any, no, you have no hope for me, do you? Bring me some hope.
I believe that hope is your truth, and that everybody is allowed to have their truth. So if you truthfully believe that you have hope, then you have hope truthfully.
That's a fucking lie.
But if you hopefully don't have hope, then truthfully, I don't hope that you hopefully have it. Truthfully,
yeah. I would like to get twin sisters named Hope and Faith and bang the fuck out of them. Oh, but I'm too old to do anything about it. But in my mind, that's the truth.
Just for the record, I misremembered Chai Ling being killed at Tiananmen Square. But my friend did name his dog after her, but I guess she didn't die, or it's a different Chilene. I don't know if Chilene is that common a name in Tiananmen Square.
Died watching this program, right? That's what it is.
That would be us every day.
You see the glass is half full. Do I? It's about like only like about a 16th full at this point. I'm gonna need some fresh coffee in there. I don't see the glass. I don't even see the glass. Do you see the glass? I don't see the glass. I have a Yeti cup. That's what I got with.
Now, Anne was pregnant with her. Was it her first child? Was that your first child, or just your first daughter, or was it just a daughter? She said she was pregnant with her daughter in 1990.
Wow. Good for her. I mean,
and just for the record, Anne, Matt and I both have alibis for where we were in 1990. In case you're looking for like back child support.
I don't. I just lied. I don't have an alibi for where I was in there. I was so fucking high. I could have been anywhere.
Okay, so and Matt does not have an alibi for 1990, so you can probably hit him up for some paternity money. Yeah. But I have an alibi.
Most in 1990. Well, does the kid have a mustache?
Does your daughter have a mustache?
Hey, don't laugh! Don't laugh. My aunt Molly made my mustache look like small.
Oh, my sister! My sister, when she had medication for her kidney disease, she had her kidneys like, and they'd given her, what was it, the liver? Well, she lost, both of them were like fucked up. But she had a problem. She was on dialysis. So which one? Well, at any rate, that's the kidney, right? She was on medication, and the medication she had, for whatever she had, made the hair on her head fall out, but it grew on her face. So she was pissed. She was going bald here and was growing the most beautiful beard and sideburns.
Sounds like she's got my family gene. That's what she got.
And she was so pissed because she had won a beauty contest in her youth, but now she was like, "What the fuck did they do to my hormones?"
Tomorrow on the program we have a guy named Eric Magoon, M-A-G-U-N. He's an award-winning author and filmmaker who's earned numerous awards for his independent feature film, "The Toast with the Gods," a surreal reimagining of Homer's The Odyssey. He's got a book out. The Sinners is his new book. So he's gone from award-winning independent filmmaker to author. The Sinners. Well, I think The Sinners is about you and me, just us two, really. Basically, wrote the book about it. So we got to thank him for that. But a reimagining of Homer's Odyssey. It's been done before. Are you familiar with the Coen brothers' take on that?
No, but I know they did Ray Fiennes. They did a remake of it with Ray Fiennes also.
Well,
I think it was called the Journey Home or the Return Journey or something like that.
Most people might not even realize that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," the movie starring George Clooney and John Turturro. It's really Homer's Odyssey. It's just dressed in Depression era America, but it is.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. When the movie came out and it said, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," and I looked to see if there were any black people in it, and I saw that the three people on it was like, those are all white guys. It's like, are they looking for the brother? I mean, I don't understand.
There is some good black people stuff in that movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't apparent. It wasn't. You won't be running for me because I probably won't see it unless my wife makes me watch it.
You got to watch it. It's very funny. The music stuff is good in there, but there is some really cool, not necessarily historical, but cultural things that I wasn't aware of. It made me hip to in like the Old South and the Depression era stuff and radio, the early days of radio and all that stuff. Really cool stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Coen brothers, so that movie I think is a must watch. You should watch it. But I have to spoil this line because there's a part where they fuck up a Klan rally where they're trying to get Robert. It's really Robert Johnson, Crossroads. They're trying to lynch him, and they guys break it up and they fuck up a Klan rally where they're and the guy who's running for governor of the state of Mississippi says they violated a sacred ritual of us. You know, I don't need to tell you what organization I'm a part of, but in a doing our sacred duty, and he says, but tonight we're gonna hang us a Negro. It's one of the classic lines. Tonight we're gonna hang us a Negro. And that to me, that triggered that thing in my mind. Well, the whole thing about the word nigger, it's just pointing out how illiterate most of the people in the South, that they were trying to say Negro, and it just came out sounding like Negra, and then eventually morphed into nigger. But it just, to me, the joke is on them. Every time you hear the word, now I can't hear the word nigger without thinking dumb, illiterate Southern imbecile who couldn't pronounce Negro. Anyway, there's great stuff in that movie. You got to watch it. And that I didn't ruin it for you by just doing that.
No. Matter of fact, you could give me the entire plot, and if I want to watch a movie, I'll still watch it, and you wouldn't have ruined it for me, because I don't look at movies just on one level. I look at movies like on multiple levels.
You got to read Homer's Odyssey, and then you don't have to watch the movie. Anyway,
I read Homer's Odyssey when I was in high school, or at least the Reader's Digest version. I understand it's like I understand like the book is like 12 pages long or something.
How do you think the Greeks feel about Greek being associated with anal sex?
I think the ones that enjoy anal sex are just fine with it.
No, but
that's what Greece was. That's what the Greece was for. That's what the Greece was for.
I get it. Grease fire. There was a fire in Greece last weekend. I was like, Grease fire. That's what happened when you own too many diners. That's a fucking really bigoted thing.
And says, all right, my sugars and my coffee. See you tomorrow.
All right, go watch Tony Walker, you traitor. No, we love you, man. Sorry, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Well, at least you stuck around to 11:30 because Tony started at 11.
Yeah, I don't know about Tony starting at 11. But anyway, it's time to say goodbye and tell everybody.
To all our family.
To all our family. We'll be here tomorrow doing this again, God willing. Even if God's not willing, we'll probably still find a way.
Yeah, and Matt's going to... Matt, you're going to play the Mighty Boss Tones cover again?
No. Oh, you know what? I could... No, that's not the best way. I'll play... I can't load it into the system. If I could, I would. I got to take this banner out of here first, though. This banner that says...
people, I will be on John Kenneth Live at 4:30 today. On
Where is this?
I think it's 360 Live. 365 Live. Go to my Facebook page, I think. Let me see. Let me find out.
What is this? A radio show? It's
a live radio show, and I think it's on 365 Live.
You got it backwards. It's live 365, but okay.
What? No.
Yeah, live.
It says on live 365.
Right.
Tune in live today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern at WFUTradio.com or on live 365.
Very cool. So don't curse when you're there.
Oh no, I don't fucking curse anyway.
All right. That's the show for you today, folks. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Go to YouTube.com. Check out Winds of Change. Please do leave a comment on it. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff.
Ann says, love you, Matt.
I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling the love. I got like kumbaya in my heart. Thank you, Ann. Same. But you know what? Love you too. That's what you always say. All right. Bye for now. Don't forget to turn on your radio. Have a great day.
I
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen